All right, so which questions would you guys like to go over to start with? Or we'll start with one. All right, Kira? Number 4? Okay. All right. So Jarvie drove 299 and 6/10 miles on 14 gallons of gas. At this rate, how many miles can he travel on 25 and a half gallons? All right, so we know that this is our rate. When it says at this rate, that's going to be important because that tells you that this right here, focus, no? No? Cool. That this right here is going to be our rate. And then we have to find out how many miles can he travel on 25 and a half gallons. So what is the first thing that I have to do? What is the first thing that I have to do in this problem? Somebody? Anybody? Why do I not see annotating on y'all's iPads? Why did you not annotate? Huh? Who else didn't annotate? Why, children?
It's not on there.
It is.
I don't see the pen.
Click the little pen thing at the top.
Right. Then you're on the wrong thing. Did you go through Student Canvas? That is why you're not. Guys, like by now, that is not a step I should have to tell you. We are dealing with word problems, are we not? So do you need to spend time inside at lunch? Learning and remembering to annotate? Is that what we need to do? Let's go. Get it together. If you did not annotate, please annotate now. All right, so raise your hand and tell me, how do we set this up? Gracie.
So you divide two.
No. How do I set this up?
Okay. 299.6 on top and 14 on the bottom.
Do you need to have units with this? Yes. So again, if you're not doing units, you need to start adding your units in. I don't know. Like, you've got to add those units in. Real quick, is this a unit rate question? Yes or no? I mean, technically, do we have to find the unit rate? No, you don't technically have to find the unit rate. It makes it a lot easier, but it does add that extra step in. All right, so continue, Gracie.
Okay, and then the way I did it is I divided 14 by 14.
Why?
Because you do that and it gives you how much you get on 1 gallon of gas.
Okay.
And then so I got 21.4 per gallon.
Okay.
And then I multiplied that by 25.5
Why?
because that's how much gallons.
All right, and what did you end up with?
I got 545.7.
Okay. All right, how did we do with this problem? Okay, if you did not do this problem, please get this down. Thumbs up when you're ready to go. All right, what's another problem you guys would like to go over? We're going to go over number 5. since we're right here. Alright, so it says Carlos needs to save an additional $565 before he can purchase a car for his son. He plans to save $25 each week. At this rate, at the end of how many full weeks will he have enough money to purchase the car? Alright, so we know that he has to save an additional $565. We know that he plans to save $25 each week. We know that that is our rate because it says at this rate. At the end of how many weeks, full weeks, will he have enough money to purchase the car? All right, so how do you think we go about setting this one up? Do we see our rate? Do we see our unit rate? What do we see in here? Alex?
Right.
No. They give you what in this problem? It's right here. What is that? God, this is terrifying. Right?
Right.
No, he just said that, and I said no. So there's really only one option. There's one out. If it's not the rate, it's got to be the answer. Unit rate. Each week means 1 week. So it's $25 for 1 week. All right. Do we know the total? Do we know the total amount of money that he has to save? Yes, we do. So what is the total? It's in our problem. So what is the total? Right now, we're just pulling information out and we're setting these problems up. Angel. All right, does everybody understand why we set it here and not on the bottom? You do or you don't? You do? Okay. All right. Now, you could spend all day, even with a calculator, doing 25 times this, 25 times that. Or you can do what? What can you do? Zachary?
565 divided by 25.
Right, so 565 divided by 25. If you haven't done this problem, go ahead and punch that into your calculator. And then give me a thumbs up when you have your answer. Again, you're punching in 565 divided by 25. And then you're letting me know you're ready by giving me a thumbs up. All right, so what do you get when you do 565 divided by 25? Like 22.6. Now, technically this is 22.6 weeks, but it's a key word right here that says full. All right, so our answer cannot be 22. It has to be what?
23.
23, because it has to be a full week. All right, so the answer for this one is going to be 23. Does that make sense to everybody? So understanding those key words. All right, what's another one you guys want to go over? What's another one? Everly.
Number 1. I just struggled with
Okay. All right, so everyone go to number 1. It says during a winter storm, a ski resort received 9 inches of snow in 12 hours. I can't even read. The snow fell at a steady rate, which means essentially the same or a constant rate. It says how many inches of snow fell each hour. So we're looking for each hour, which means that's the unit that's going to go on the bottom. So I have 9 inches on the top, 12 hours on the bottom. I have to find out how much for 1 hour. So what do I do here? What do I do from here? Samantha?
Divide 9 inches by 12 because you did it to the bottom.
Okay, so divide 12 on the bottom. So I'm dividing by 12 on the top. You are going to get a decimal when you do this. Okay, that is fine. So the rate per hour is 75 hundredths of an inch per 1 hour. Okay, so the correct answer for this one is A. All right, how do we do with that one? All right, what's another one you guys want to go over? All right, since you don't have any, I have plenty. Go to number 7. All right, number 7 says Virginia needed some batteries for her flashlight. She bought 4 batteries for for $6.80. At that rate, how much would 10 batteries cost? So she bought 4 batteries at $6.80, and again at that rate, how much would 10 of them cost? Money goes on top. So what do I have to do here? What do I have to do here first? How many of you guys did this problem? Okay, so then I'm going to give you a minute to solve this problem. Stand up when you're done. All right, have a seat. What do I do here? What's the process that you guys just did? Drake?
First you gotta find the unit,
Okay, so I have to find for 1 battery. How do I do that?
right? You divide 4 by 4 and then 4 divide 6.8 divided by 4.
Okay, what do you get?
You get 1.7.
Or $1.70. All right, then what do we do from here? What do we do from here? Answer.
You're gonna times it by 10.
Yep. And when you do $1.70 times 10, Ansley, what do you get?
170. 1,700.
You get a $1,700 for 10 batteries? Just move your decimal 1 place to the right. That's all. All right, so you should end up with $17. All right, go to number 8. Raise your hand if you did number 8. Okay, go ahead and solve number 8. Stand up when you are finished. Bless you. All right, let's go over number 8. So what is the process? So we have $4.90 for 5 pounds of grapefruits. We have to find out how much it will cost for 7 pounds of grapefruit. So what do we need to do, Kira?
We need to find the unit rate and so you're gonna divide 5 pounds by 5, which means we have to divide the top by 5, which gets us 98 cents. And then we're going to have to multiply that by 7, and 1 times 7 equals 7, or 1 pound times 7 equals 7 pounds, and then we have to do that to the top, which gets us $6.86.
Okay. All right. Slide down. Sorry. Let everyone get that. Sorry. How do you think you would be doing if you didn't have a calculator? Like, honestly. So we got a lot of so-sos. So if you're a so-so, why would you be so-so? Like here, why are you here if I took your calculator away?
Because I can do it with the division, but I mess up a lot when I'm dividing.
Okay.
I can do it, but I kind of
Okay. And a lot of it dealing with money is not always the easiest, because what happens if it goes 3 decimal places? Then you're like, I don't know what to do. So again, this is why you're allowed to use a calculator. But please, 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 ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are showing your work. Go to number 10. Raise your hand if you did number 10. Okay, if you did not do number 10, I need you to do it now. Stand up when you're done. why do I see people just sitting? Like you're supposed to be solving this problem. All right, so we are gonna go over this, and I just want to show you guys, if you're not sure how to put in a mixed number into your calculators, I am going to show you. So first and foremost though, tell me how to set this one up. So how do we set this one up? Only 2 people know? 3 people know? 4 people? 4.5? All right, Christian, how did you set it up? But what's the unit that goes with 2.5? What is that 2.5 representing? Yes. Okay, and then you put it over what?
1.
Why? How long? That.
Oh, 2.
Okay, be careful with that. All right, and then obviously we're finding out how long it takes her to cut 1 lawn. All right, we know that we're going to divide by 2 from the top and the bottom. Now, in your calculator, if you have not done this, and this is really weird looking. If you go to this one, where it's the U and then it's got the little n / the D, that is your mixed number. Okay, so you would hit this number, you'd hit 2, you'd push the over button, 1, push the down button, 2, and then over again. All right, how many of you guys know how to do that already? Perfect. Okay, how many of you guys do not know how to do that? Everybody? Cool. All right, and then we're just going to divide by 2, which will give us what? 1 1/4. And that is our answer for this problem. Now, how many of you guys know how to take this answer and turn it into a mixed number on your calculator? Okay, so if you do, let's see, should be that second fraction. No, that's going to give me a decimal. There's a way to do it. I have to look at it. Thank you. Why is this one a little bit harder than the other ones though? Like if just by looking at it, what makes this one a little bit more scary? Christian?
Because you're dividing fractions.
Because there's fractions in there. All right, this is probably one of the easiest questions we have on the test though, or have on our study guide. Go to number 16. All right, how many of you guys did number 16? All right, so that means we are doing number 16 now. So it says, Finis purchased 3 pounds of sliced turkey for $10.50 at store 1. Marley bought 2.5 pounds of sliced turkey for $8.90 at store 2. Which statement describes the better deal per pound of sliced turkey? All right. What do you think you have to do in this problem? To find the better deal, what do you think you have to do? Guys, stop touching your iPads and answer the question. What do you think you have to do in this problem? BK? Well, no. What do you have to do, guys? Like, yes, obviously we're dividing. We've established we're either dividing or multiplying. But what do we have to do? Samantha?
Find how much it costs per 1 pound turkey.
For one of them?
For both of them.
for both of them. And then you're comparing. How do you know if something is a better buy or a better deal?
And it's less money.
Huh?
And it's less money.
Less money. All right, go ahead. Solve this and then stand up when you're done. Thank you. It's a mean math teachers that,
When they say bad words.
What?
For when they say bad words. It's their math. What'd you say to them?
I said we're the mean math teachers that are testing our kids tomorrow.
That's what I would do.
Not even that, it's like we just don't want to lose them over the
Yeah.
5 days.
Yeah. Start something new.
Yeah.
Zachary Marcus, his brother, is like a good wrestler. I saw pictures of him. His brother is Joshua Marcus. Saw he like got first place.
Did you have Joshua?
Mm-mm. No.
A lot of like Aiden Campbell did well. Couple other kids.
Is he officially done breaking his arm, or is he gonna keep that child? Stand up when y'all are finished. Why'd I throw the calculator?
The short.
I know. About 20 more seconds. All right. So, what makes this question difficult? Like, if you looked at this question, like, what was your first thought when I was reading this? Let's talk about that. So, what's your first thought? Like, Kira?
The questions, they're not like answers, they're like,
Yep. So there's two questions you essentially have to find, or two parts that you have to find the unit rate for. So that makes it a two-step question. And then when it says which statement describes the better deal per pound of sliced turkey, that actually makes it a 3-step problem. So that is why we are going over this problem. Even with calculators, without calculators, you do need to know how to solve this problem. So the first thing you need to do is you're setting up store number 1, which is $10.50 for 3 pounds, right? All right, so what do? How do I figure out how much it costs per 1 pound?
You have to divide 3 by 3 and get 1, and then bring it to the top.
Okay,
Except get 3.5 or 3.5.
$3.50. Okay, all right, so this is store 1. All right, someone walk me through how to find the price for store 2. What do I do for store 2? Someone other than the same people. Like, we all just did this problem. We all stood up. It's okay if you get it wrong. This is why we're walking through it. This is why we're doing it. Drake, what'd you do for store 2?
I found the unit rate of store 2, and it was
How to walk me through it. What do I do?
so basically you put 2.5 on the bottom,
Okay,
then you divide it goes by 2.5,
okay,
and then you
huh?
then you get like the unit rate,
Which was what?
3.56 or $3.56.
Okay, so this is store 2. So at this point, if you're like, okay, I found the unit rate for both of these, but then I'm like, I don't know what to do from here. You essentially have to figure out the what between these two. What do you have to figure out between store 1 and store 2? Blake?
Which one's cheaper? What has the better deal?
Well, yes, which one is cheaper, which one has the better deal, but how do we figure that out based off of our answer choices? Like how, because even if I find out which one's cheaper and which one's the better deal, I know that. Like store 1 is the better deal, right? But that doesn't answer my question based off of like the answer choices that I have. So what's the next step I have to do with the price of per pound for store 1 and the price per pound for store 2? Store 2. God bless. Isaac.
You have to subtract $3.56 by $3.50.
Why?
Because you have to find how much, like which one describes the better deal, and you have to find how much it is to find the difference.
Right. So you're figuring out how much cheaper it is, and that is why you have to do that extra step of subtraction. So we know that it's not going to be C, and we know it's not going to be D. So we're either A or B. They both have the cheaper by 6 cents per pound. So from here, stand up if you picked A. Okay, so why is it A? Raise your hand to tell me. Why is it A? BK.
Store 1 is cheaper. It's $3.50 whenever, and store 2 is $3.56.
Okay, so store 1 is cheaper by that 6 cents per pound. All right. Go to 21. All right, raise your hand if you have done this one. All right, go ahead and solve this one. Stand up when you're finished. All right, have a seat. So this one, it's essentially saying they drive 126 miles in 3 hours. How far can they drive in 4 hours? Now, you can go from the 3 hours to the 4 hours, but that's going to be a really hard number to figure out. Okay, especially if you don't have a calculator. So in this instance, I would still do finding the unit rate and then using that to find the rate for 4 hours. Okay, that's personally what I would do. Especially with a calculator, it makes it pretty easy. So you're dividing by 3. When you do 126 divided by 3, raise your hand. What do you get? Joshua?
42.
Okay. So you get 42 miles, and then you have to multiply by 4. So when you multiply 42 by 4, what do you get, Angel? 168 miles. Okay? So not a terribly hard one, but this is one that it's definitely easier to go from 3 to 1 to 4. Now, I want you guys to do number 22. And before you get started, put your pencils down and just annotate as I read this question. So it says, it takes a tree 5 years to grow 3 feet. At this rate, how much will the tree grow in 30 years? Okay, so I want you to think about and look at these numbers. I do not want you to find the unit rate for this one. I want you to use the rate, and I want you to find something that is proportional to the rate. Why do I have puzzled faces? So you're still setting it up as 5 years to 3 feet, right? Because that is your rate. How many years are they looking to find how far it grew or how big it got? What's the only other number in our question? No, we already used 3. 30. You guys said 30, I'm sorry. So does 30 go with 5 years or does 30 go with 3 feet? 5 years. And that is why it is so important to carry your units with you. Now look at these numbers. It's a lot easier than finding unit rate and then finding this, right? Because what did we multiply 5 by to get 30? So I'm going to multiply this by 6, which means I'm just going to multiply this by 6, and I get 18 feet. Okay? So do you see the difference between 21 and 22? 21, to me, it's a little bit harder because the numbers aren't nice. But 22, at any point in time when you can eliminate an extra step in your problem, I would do it. Because that extra step gives you the opportunity to make a mistake. Again, this rate is a pretty easy rate with the numbers that they gave us. Does that make sense? All right, number 23. I want you guys to do number 23 if you haven't done so already. Stand up when you are done. Stop. All right, so what do you have to figure out before you solve this problem? Because if you solve this problem the way it is, you're going to get the wrong answer. So what do you have to figure out before you solve this problem? Okay. Put your hands down. Stand up if you picked A. Stand up if you picked B. Stand up if you picked C. Stand up if you picked D. All right, so nobody picked A, which is a good thing. Now, if you picked B, did you set it up and multiply it by 5? Sorry, multiply it by, yeah, multiply it by 5. 3, sorry. How did you get B? Those of you who picked B. There's like 3 or 4 of you who picked B. How'd you get B? Isaac.
I set it up, 15 cookies. 15 cookies on the top and 20 minutes on the bottom. And then I divided it by 20 to equal 1 minute. And then I got 0.75 cookies for 1 minute. And then I multiplied it by 60 to equal for the 1 hour. And then I got 45 cookies for an hour.
Okay. All right, so really good process, really good job. One question for you. How many hours?
4 hours.
4. Okay, so you did a great job of finding unit rate and then finding it for the 60 minutes, but you have to take it one step further. How many of you guys found how many minutes are in 4 hours first? Okay, why is this important to know? It's not the only way to solve or to do this, but why is it important to know how many minutes are in an hour? Right?
Because then you can find out like 20 minutes. You can find out how many it takes to get like that many minutes.
Okay,
And
and
then you can divide them and then times them by 20 and
so on and so forth. The other thing is, this is minutes, this is hours. You can't have different units. You've got to have the same unit. So knowing that there's 240 minutes and 4 hours is going to be really important. All right, so setting it up, you can set it up either way. You can do the 20 minutes for 15 cookies or 15 cookies for 20 minutes, doesn't matter. Yes, ma'am. What? Are you sure? If my math is wrong, tell me.
it's not me.
Okay. All right. This is the way that I solved it. I skipped right over the unit rate. Why do you think I skipped over the unit rate once I set it up like this?
Because we're not trying to find 1 minute. It just makes it easier.
We're not trying to find that 1 minute, but also looking at these two numbers, they're pretty easy numbers, aren't they? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to multiply 2 by to get 24?
Nothing. Wait. 12.
I'm going to ask again.
Hold on, wait. Don't listen.
All right, so what do I multiply 2 by to get 24? Allison. So I'm going to multiply this by 12, which means I multiply this by 12. And then when I get 15 times 12, I end up with 180 cookies. So that is the correct answer for that one. Okay? So you were close. Close. All right. Are there any other ones that you guys want to go over? Okay. The answer key for the whole study guide is going to be on Canvas tonight. Please look over this. like I said, I plan on letting you guys use your calculators tomorrow, but you need to make sure you're annotating on the test, and you also need to make sure you're showing your work, showing the process. You have about 3 minutes before the bell is going to ring, so